always loved cars, and I would fantasize about one day being able to actually drive a car. I don't even think it was about freedom at that point because I was too young. There was some sort of like visceral attraction to the automobile ever since I was a kid. What it is about the classic cars that I find intriguing, it's nostalgia. As someone who loves driving and like operating a machine, I was just really bored of driving modern cars. And a car suddenly became a sort of very utilitarian pod to get from point A to B in the most comfortable and convenient way. I had started doing research on classic cars that maybe I could get and actually use as my daily driver. I started looking at like mid-80s Porsches, which is totally ridiculous as an only car in New York City. I learned that cars in Spain, due to the arid, dry climate, didn't rust. Also, these cars oftentimes were ordered with just less features that were prone to failure than the US version. Super reliable diesel engines and then no rust. I've been in the eyewear business for many years, and a lot of eyewear business still takes place in Italy. And when I was coming back from Italy pre-COVID, I decided I would take the plunge and take a pit stop in Spain and actually go drive some 25-plus-year-old diesel stick shift Range Rover Classics. Can I really drive this car as my daily driver in New York City? Am I an idiot? Is this possible? I went, I drove, and then I was able to coordinate getting that car painted and bodyworked and having it mechanically gone through. People kept trying to buy it from me in the streets. And then in early COVID, my cousin made a lot of money in the PPE business. And I was like, I have this ridiculous idea. I bet if I made 5 more of these cars, we could sell them. If you finance it, I'll do all the work. And he agreed. And I just started making 2 more cars the way I wanted to make them. And before they were even finished, I had people through Instagram that offered to give me deposits because they wanted the finished product. And I was like, this is wild. I don't know these people. They don't know me. They're wiring me money. And then I kind of never stopped. I like these cars because they sort of transcend time. Like, they are classics, but yet they can still be used as actual cars today. Even though my primary focus is on the Range Rovers, it is fun to have these other cars in here. That 911 shape was virtually the same until the mid to late 90s. And the same thing with that Mercedes. I think it's from 1970 to 1989. This truck had the same body shape from 1970 to 1995. I just think it's kind of fascinating that a car could have such a long run and be basically the same exact design that it was from day one. That just would not happen today. My grandmother had a Mercedes SL of some kind. That car reminds me of my grandmother. My uncle had Porsches when I was growing up. They're these very cool cars without being like super ostentatious. I think of cars as, like a clothing accessory or something like that. It's some sort of a statement. And I also believe in actually using or driving the car. I try not to be too precious with anything that I like or collect. I want to actually use it and enjoy it. We have, one journey, one life, and like you may as well try to enjoy that stuff. So I am lucky, and I do get to participate in sort of like the car culture in New York City, in a place where you don't think of people owning cars, or especially classic cars, and people just do what they have to do. They're parked on the street, they're parked wherever. And what I love about it, especially in New York City, is it's such a diverse group of people. This community is bound by cars. Being a kid in 1987 and like seeing the first Range Rover, it's like, whoa, like that's the first time the US got those. And what I like about them now, what I think makes people happy to see them or into them now, not only is the nostalgia, the idea of like being able to get something that you wanted as a kid and then you actually finally like get to have it, but also it's nice to have something that is unique and does not look like everything else. That brings me joy.